Star Wars Young Jedi Knights Delusions of Grandeur, Chapter 16. Before heading off Mechas 3 on his search for Tycho Thol, Zeke diverted the lightning rod to the asteroid station of Borgo Prime. He had no intention of missing the scheduled rendezvous with his mysterious employer, Bornon Thol. Psycho sat inside Shaco's hub, all alone at a table, wearing a scuffed light flight suit, his long dark hair neatly tied back. While he waited, Zeke studied a datapad in which he had downloaded the shipping records and permits issued for illegal droid commerce throughout the New Republic. All restrictions against constructing automated assassins remained in effect. According to public transaction records on file in the Department of Galactic Commerce, no droid construction facility, including Tycho's own operation on Mechas 3, had a permit to either build or sell assassin droids. IG-88 and his newly constructed companions remained a mystery to Zeke. Something did not fit. He had ordered a hot meal from the insect-like Shenko, but chewing without tasting, wrapped up in his own thoughts, apprehending Bornon Thol for his famous bounty was not an option at the moment, since the contract with his employer was not yet complete. He still had to find Tycho. Repeatedly glancing at his chronometer, he rehearsed what he intended to say to the man. Though Boba Fett had given him advice, the questions remained in the back of Zeke's mind. This was a dangerous time for him. Less than an hour now until his meeting. Zeke slurped another mouthful of the spicy stew. His stomach roiled, but Shenko had assured him this meal was human-compatible. His queasiness was more due to anxiety over the impending meeting than lack of quality in the cooking. Shenko's hive was a bustle with hundreds of patrons of all different species. The insectoid owner kept his crowded establishment clean and in excellent repair, much in contrast to the dingy Mos Eisley cantina. Zeke kept an eye on everyone, studying, searching. Bornon Thol arrived in new disguise this time, but Zeke spotted him right away. His employer wore a maroon chiffon, a brown turban around his head, and a metal breath mask that covered his nose and mouth, the type worn by inhabitants of heavily polluted worlds. Thol didn't know Zeke at first. The man's partially obscured gaze darted around the bar furtively if he were anxious about being among so many people. If Zeke had any lingering doubts about his employer's identity, they were dispelled the moment he sensed Thol's tension. At his table, Zeke sat back and wondered whether he should raise a hand to his employer wave his employer over. He decided the attention might startle Bornon Thol, so he simply waited until the disguised man noticed him. "I have only a few moments," Thol said without preamble as he finally located Zeke and slid into the seat next to him. The metallic breath mask filtered his voice. "Quickly, give me your report." Under the turban, Thol's gaze continued to dart warily around at the other patrons in Shenko's hive. Zeke found this alertness ironic, since right now he himself was the bounty hunter Bornon Thol should have feared the most. Zeke laced his fingers behind his head and feigned relaxation. "I have completed the first part of your task," he said. "I sent the message for the Bornonian fleet through the communication nodes you suggested. I have, of course, received no word as whether Arnon Thol actually got the transmission, but it's likely." Bornon Thol seemed to melt with relief, and instantly the lines around his shadow's eyes softened. Waves of long, repressed emotion flowed from him like a physical presence. Zeke decided to tell the rest of his story. "Immediately after I transmitted your message, the bounty hunter attacked me. He'd been waiting for such a signal. He pounced, but I managed to outwit him and escape." The disguised man nodded gravely. "You see, I was right to be cautious." "Yes, that bounty hunter thought he might have found you, Bornon Thol." Zeke's voice was barely above a whisper. The man stiffened and looked ready to leap away in panic. Zeke held up a hand. "If I had planned to capture you, I'd have stunned you the moment you sat down." "Relax." Zeke tossed his long dark hair, trying to unwind the tension in his neck. "How long did you think I could hide it?" "You could hide it. You were pretty obvious. I guessed your identity the first time we met, even in your disguise." Bornon Thol swallowed so hard Zeke could hear it through the metallic breast mask. Thol kept his voice low. "I was raised a noble of Alderaan. I have been a successful merchant, a prominent trade negotiator. I have plenty of practice at hiding myself." That much is obvious," Zeke said with a thin smile. "I'm impressed that you've managed to elude capture so far. You know, I'd earn incredible fame and notoriety if I were to take you in now, but that wouldn't be honorable. The bounty hunter creed forbids me to work against my employer, so I accepted your assignment, and I won't betray you. So you're safe, at least until I fulfilled my obligations to you. I still haven't found your brother, though. I've got a lead to Tycho's kidnapping. I have quite a few questions that are still unanswered, but on my way to Mechas 3, I have a feeling I can learn more about what's happened to him, maybe where to find him." We cannot meet again, Borna Thol said, his voice trembling, now that you know who I am. Zeke's emerald eyes narrowed. Then how can I be sure I'll get paid when I accomplish the task? I'm an honorable man too, Thol said. When my brother's found, the credits will appear in your account. From that point on, I'll consider you another enemy to be avoided at all costs. He stood up, considered, then turned back to the table. Young man, you can't pay and understand the consequences if you deliver me to Nola Tarcona. Have you any idea why she wants me so badly? Zeke shook his head. My bounty hunter doesn't ask questions. My job is to complete the task. Emotions, politics, and legal nuances are better left to more complex entities. Thol heaved a ponderous sigh. Perhaps you would think differently if you knew what I knew, he said. If Nola Tarcona were to get to the information I am protecting, she would not hesitate to use it. It might result in the extinction of all humans. Consider how far you're willing to go to earn fame and fortune as a bounty hunters, and how many lives you would risk in the process. Zeke shifted uncomfortably, trying not to consider the implications. Unexpectedly, a loud and unruly fight broke out in an automated musical selection apparatus on the other side of the bar. A burly, white-furred towel shoved aside a tusk-faced whippet. The whippet roared, lowered the cliff-sized head, and butted the towels in the chest. The white sloth-like creature squealed in a high-pitched alarm and began pounding the whippet in turn. Tables crashed over. The music machine toppled with the jangle of synthesized squawks. The miniaturized conversation, Shanko's hive changed to responding gasps and cheers as the friends of the combatants and other enthusiastic patrons hurled themselves into the fray. Shanko gestured with one pair of multi-jointed arms, and his three-armed bartender lumbered into the brawl with a loud bellow. Dracul grasped the towels and the whippet with his two outer hands, forcefully separating them. At the same time, his central hand balled into a battering-ram fist and punched each creature in an extremely sensitive area particular to their species. Both fighters dropped like stones, and Dracul glared down at them as their supporters backed away and slink into the shadows. The bartender righted the music machine, kicked it once to start it again, and glowered at the two groggy aliens. Your bar tab will reflect a surcharge for the necessary repairs, he growled. Then stalked back to the bar. There, the insectoid Shanko, who had watched the entire alteration without comment, rewarded the bartender with a full tankard of Oskborn stout. Zeke shook his head and turned back to Borna Thol, but the man was gone. He looked around in alarm, but saw no sign of the fugitive. Thol had vanished completely, just as he had last time. Zeke decided there was no point in pursuing his employer. It would do no good. Instead, he would finish the stew and then head to Mechas 3 straight away.